Keke Palmer broke the internet last week when she announced her pregnancy on SNL.
Surprise! Keke Palmer is pregnant. The Nope actress announced that she's expecting her first child while hosting Saturday Night Live. During her monologue, she addressed the growing speculation that she has a baby on the way, then confirmed it.
There's some rumors going around. People have been in my comments saying Keke's having a baby, Keke's pregnant, and I want to set the record straight. I am.
Keke flashed her baby bump for the camera, and the audience went wild with applause and cheers.
But if I'm being honest, while I thought Keke looked beautiful, I was disheartened to see yet another unwed celebrity going viral for choosing to become a baby mother. Now, before y'all get down in the comments with your Twitter fingers going, thinking that I'm trying to judge anyone on their choices, I'm not. The purpose of this video is to begin an open dialogue and why glorifying single parent households should not become more common than glorifying nuclear families. So if this discussion intrigues you, make sure that you like the video, and if you like what you see around here, stick around by subscribing with the notification bell on. Now let's get into it. Chapter 1. Is baby mama the new black? I don't know why Keke's announcement made me want to talk about this. I think maybe because we've seen her grow up and she's been a wholesome child star, and I am still a fan of Keke, honey. I'm not saying I'm erasing Keke because she got pregnant, or Rihanna, because y'all already know, if you are new here, hey, my name is B, I'm a part of the Navy. So like, I'm not saying that I threw Rihanna away because she got pregnant with A$AP Rocky or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I do think that for some reason Keke's pregnancy announcement made me perk up a little bit, because it's not like she was an ignorant 16-year-old Jamie Spears who wound up pregnant. It is a very intentional act to make it to, like, what, how old is Keke? 27, 28 years old. It's intentional to make it to that age without children and then to pop up pregnant by your boyfriend. Let's be honest. Raise your hand if you were a little girl or a little boy and you said, when I grow up, I'm gonna raise a baby all by myself. No one dreams of that. If that wasn't your aspiration as a child, why are you choosing to make that your reality as an adult? It's disheartening to me that there are so many people that are not only becoming, but choosing to be single parents. And let me define a single parent household as I am talking about it in this specific video, because I don't want there to be any confusion. For the purpose of this video, I'm defining single parent families as anyone who has children under the age of 18 who are living in a household without wed parents. So if they are cohabitating but are not married, I'm still counting that as a single parent household. If a parent is remarried, that doesn't count, okay? We're talking about people who are either completely single, mother or father, or cohabitating without the sanctity of marriage. I am in no way judging single parent households. I am a product of a divorced household. So I was raised by a single mother from 9 until, I left. But I think that there is a difference between a divorced household and a never married household. And while I do believe that there are a lot of psychological issues that are attributed to divorced households, that is not what we're talking about today. I want to keep the discussion specifically on people who were never married when they decided to begin parenthood, and I don't want us to get sidetracked by a bunch of other scenarios and things like that. They're just not the same. I'm sorry. It's not the same. Chapter 2. The harsh realities of single parenthood. While celebrities like Keke Palmer, Rihanna, Future, Nick Cannon, the Kardashian clan will all be fine and their children will be financially taken care of, we cannot ignore the disparities that poor and middle class children have compared to their two-parent household counterparts. And these disparities have become increasingly obvious during the pandemic, whether that's economically, educationally, or even with health advantage. Look at the statistics of children raised in single parent household and the incarceration rates. Now let's be clear, some of that is just straight up racism. But I'm just saying, for the sake of this argument, just notice the statistics.
According to IF studies, Black young adults who grew up in a single parent home are about 1.8 times more likely to have spent time in prison or jail by their late 20s compared to their peers from a home headed by two biological parents. This study also showed that Black children in homes headed by single parents are about 3.5 times more likely to be living in poverty compared to Black children living with two parents in a first marriage. And this study showed that college graduation is marked more common among Black young adults raised by their two biological parents.
Wait. Before you get in the comments and be willfully obtuse and say, well, my family wasn't like this, or I didn't. Listen, there's no absolute, okay? I'm not saying all, I'm not saying never, I'm not saying, every. So please, if it don't apply, let it fly. You can find exceptions to every statistic, but the obvious patterns cannot be ignored. And while you can find single parent households in every community, the numbers in the Black community are abysmal, with 64% of children living in single parent households in 2019. I can look at my life compared to my mother's life right now. And again, my mom was divorced. She did start off married, and my dad was still an ever-present. My dad was always present. My dad is present. Like, let's not say was. My daddy's still here. My daddy's still present, honey. I just got a phone with my daddy yesterday. So, you know what I'm saying? I still had both of my parents very active in my life. However, in the home, it was just my mom. And I can look at her raising me and my sister, and just me and my sons and my husband now. And I could not imagine how she was able to do it alone. Like, I truly don't. For instance, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Yesterday, I had two sick children, both of them fevers, sky high. Been dealing with them all day, nursing them back to health. By the time my husband got home from work, I just needed 10 minutes of no one calling my name. I was able to give my children to him for relief, go upstairs, shut the door, and put my noise canceling headphones on and just zone out. That is a benefit. That is such a small benefit, but that is just a simple benefit of having an active second parent in the household. Now, while we can all understand the historical ramifications of the breakdown of the nuclear family and the nuclear Black family specifically, that dates all the way back to slavery, and then, moving on up to Jim Crow, moving on up, war on drugs, welfare. We understand some of these systematic principles that have been embedded in our community that has given us these astronomical numbers. That is one thing. However, that does not account for the entire 64%, and we are fooling ourselves if we think that the man is the reason why 64% of us live in single parent households. How many parents are out there completely shucking and jiving away their responsibilities as an active and needed role model in their child's life? How many people can honestly say that they have some type of abandonment issues, attachment issues, mommy issues, daddy, self-esteem, and all of these things? And a lot of it can be rooted in the breakdown in the sociological structure of the family. Before school, before church, before your friends, before any outside influences, you learn who you are based on your home dynamic. What did you learn in the home? And I really do want to have this conversation with grace and understanding, because I truly feel like it's because of church hurt and judgment that people are going so left from what is truth, you guys. And it's not his truth or her truth, it is truth. The truth of the matter is, no one person can create a child by themselves. So if you can't create something alone, why do you need to manage it alone? With role models like Future and Nick Cannon out here sticking and moving and creating single parent households across the country, we are seeing not just a pattern, but doggone it, we talking about a pandemic? Baby, this is a pandemic. And we need to call it out. I'm tired of the excuse being systematic racism. Sometimes it's poor choices.
Chapter 3. Commitment, Choices, and Consequences.
Why is it that in today's society we believe that it is a bigger commitment to get married to someone than it is to procreate with them? Like, does that make any sense to you? Because I'm baffled by that understanding. Hear me out. Now, I'm not saying that having a child is a poor choice, but I'm saying the actions leading up to creating a child sometimes are riddled by poor choices. If you know someone for 6 weeks, how do you know them enough to make a lifetime commitment with them by having a child?
I'm just saying, it's a poor choice to have unprotected sex with someone that you cannot imagine yourself raising a child with, because that is the risk you take every time you have unprotected sex. Period.
Let's just be honest. Those are poor choices. When you sow a seed in dysfunction, guess what the harvest is going to look like? And people really believe that it's a bigger commitment being married than it is being a parent. Last time I checked, people were getting divorced every day, B. But guess what you can't do? Walk away from being a parent. Even if you're a deadbeat parent, you're still a parent. You're still tied to a whole nother human being for your entire life. I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. I am not trying to be judgmental and holier than thou, because that's not at all my intention. But I do understand that 2 parents in a home make a big difference. And yes, even if you do get married, there is no guarantee that your marriage is going to last for the full 18 years of raising a child. People are getting divorced every day, B. However, it does set a foundation and an expectation at minimum that you are both choosing to be in this child's life and be active participants in the child's life, at least until 18. There's this phenomenon now that marriage isn't necessary, or why choose to be married. And I think that is completely your choice. For everyone, marriage is not the answer. I honestly never thought that I would be a married mom of 2. Like, who? Me? Never thought that would be me. So I get that that's not everyone's choice. However, if you don't want to commit yourself under covenant with someone, under marriage, why would you want to commit yourself to being stuck with them parenting? It's hard enough parenting with your spouse, with someone who you've chosen to work through things with. That may be why co-parenting is so hard. Because, okay, it's hard to take 2 separate people and merge them into one and try to live life and do it together and come together on different ideologies and principles and thought processes and make it work and make it cohesive in a household. So if it's already hard to do it when you're under the same roof, how much harder is it to do when you have 2 people in 2 different households?
They're not. 2-parent household.
I'm not saying don't go out there and live your life. I'm saying be responsible. Be safe. Because, baby, there is no bigger responsibility than raising a life, okay? When they put that little thing in your arms and they send you home from the hospital, guess what? It's on you to keep that thing alive and to make it a thriving citizen. And we have so many people who are procreating without creating contributing good citizens. Like, to me, that should be the bare minimum. And if you are doing that as a single parent, because there are many single parents that do, I applaud you, because that is not an easy task, okay? It is not easy to be a single parent. And I truly send my heart and my love to you, because, baby, I don't know how you do it. But I haven't met a single parent yet that said, hey, this is the life. I do all of this by myself every time, all the time. If I could go back, I would. I just ain't met them. If that's you, like I said earlier, drop down in the comments. Why are we choosing to create more obstacles in our life when a blueprint is a blueprint for a reason? If we were able to procreate alone, then we would just procreate alone. It takes the mother and the father's separate views and perceptions. It takes 2 parents to pour into and to feed and to nurture children. I'm not at all advocating staying in unhealthy situations just for the fact of saying that your child is being raised in a two-parent household, because baby, that's gonna do more damage than good. I'm not saying that, but with all of the options out there, in order to make sure that you do not create children that are unwanted, why are we creating unwanted children? For instance, my issue with a lot of the legislation that's going on is that it damages Planned Parenthood. And I'm not talking about Planned Parenthood for abortion. I'm talking about birth planning, birth control. I think all of that is necessary. Now, listen, my hand is raised. Baby, I had premarital sex, okay? I had premarital sex, and guess what? I lived with my husband before me and him even got married. We were shacking for 2 years. Again, I'm not better than anyone at all. It's not like I did it the right way. I did it the right way. I maintained my virginity, and then, like, no, I ain't did none of that. Let's be real about it. I ain't did none of that, okay? I was the opposite. But I'm gonna tell you one thing that I was not gonna do. One thing that I wasn't gonna do is bring a child into this world with someone who we did not share a covenant together, who we did not share a commitment together, a commitment to raise children together, because that is what's needed. First off, drop down in the comments and let me know, what was your family dynamic growing up, and was there something that you could change? Please, this is a open and honest and vulnerable conversation. Again, this is a no judgment zone, but I think that it's important that we get the dialogue started. If you're someone who chose to become a single parent, what influenced your choices? What made you decide that that was the best way for you to parent? And if you could do it over again, would you do it the same, or would you change? Real quick, I saw some discussion online in the shade room, y'all. Y'all know I like to be in the shade room. It's rude to ask someone who their baby's father is after their pregnancy announcement. Why is that rude? We know that you can't get pregnant by yourself. And if you're in a secretive relationship, why would you want to publicly bear their fruit? It doesn't make sense to me. I think I thought that was an asinine argument. I thought it was asinine. You know who don't get those type of questions? Sorry, but married people don't get those type of questions. Not unless you got like a vasectomy or something. Then everybody's looking at you side eye like, what's going on? Or your tubes tied or something like that. Then that's something different. I'm just saying.
Chapter 4. Let's wrap it up.
It seems to me that a lot of us are choosing to make lifelong decisions without any type of proper planning. We can plan for the outfit that we're going to wear to the club on Saturday. We can plan for our vacation to Cancun. We can plan for the kind of car we want to drive in the next 5 years, but we can't plan on the type of partner that we want to have in the household to rear and raise our legacy. Does that make sense? And again, I think this conversation is so much bigger than celebrities. Celebrities are just a microcosm of what's actually happening in the society as a whole. We as a community are falling apart at the seams. And it's not all because of racism. Don't get me wrong. Systematic racism have an issue, but sometimes we allow our own self-inflicted wounds to hinder us. So when are we going to look around and just call a thing a thing? If what's been going on since slavery has hindered us and has brought us down and has stopped us from getting generational wealth and has affected our society structure, has caused unneeded and unwanted hurt and pain, when are we going to stop and say, okay, something needs to change? And maybe I'll be the one to change. Baby, this ain't it. I need a two-parent household, okay?
Two-parent household.
And let's be clear, when I say a two-parent household, I mean a healthy two-parent household where there are two adults that are both actively and effectively pouring into their children. And while I think that every child is a blessing and it should be praised, I'm not saying hide your child out of wedlock or anything. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it's becoming so normalized that people are preferring it. People are choosing this burden, and I just don't understand why. And yes, there are a lot of married single parents out there, and we'll have to get to y'all in another day, because who told y'all to do that? Just saying. There is no amount of money that can supersede the emotional and spiritual work that parents put into their children. There's no amount of money that'll do that. You can see that by all of these rich baby mamas who caught the bag complaining about how exhausted they are. I guess I've said all of this to say that we need to understand the actual gravity of bringing children into this life. This is not like a roll the dice, oh yay, I'm pregnant, oh, let's do it, whatever. No, we should become more intentional. Not just intentional about creating life, but intentional about who we create life with and how we are going to raise this life that we've created. If we can't sit down and properly articulate and explain and understand why we are becoming parents, are we even ready to become parents? I mean, let's be honest, is there even a such thing as being ready to become a parent? But seriously, it's time for us to get honest in the community and see where we are failing and call it out in love. What did Monique say? I love us for real. Alright you guys, that's all I have on today's subject. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way to the end, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I tried to film during nap time and you see how that went. But drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on the subject. Are we glorifying single parent households and choosing to be a single parent to the detriment of our own society? Are you a single parent, and if you could go back and do it again, would you do it again? Do you believe that there is a bigger commitment to being married than it is to procreate with a whole nother human being? Just sound off, and please remember to speak with love in the comments. I do not want to see any type of hate speech, any type of bashing. All of that will get blocked. I'm letting you know that right now. We are trying to have an intelligent conversation down in the comments, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. All right, peace.
Thank you for joining me for another video. If you would like access to the full video, become a beauty by joining the membership. Take a look around my website to see all the services that I offer. Then click the Join Today button to receive access to live streams, member-only content, beauty community posts, and producer credit. Thank you to all the beauties that have supported me thus far, and all the beauties that are joining each day. Follow me on all socials, link in the D box. See you next time. Peace.